Here from Sonic Stadium. I'm here with former Sonic rider Ken Penders. He's got a few new projects in the works. One of them is the Republic. Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
The Republic is an online web series starring Mark Singer and Sean Young, and it's going to premiere in 4 15-minute episodes, and we're looking to go beyond that once we get past that stage of production here.
All right, now on the Lost Ones, the movie, how's that coming along?
The Lost Ones movie is coming along really well. We've done a number of test shootings with various special effects. We have, as you can see by our board there, we have several actors already cast. The costumes are made by Mike Philpott, the same gentleman who made costumes for Spider-Man 3, and supposedly we'll be working on one of the costumes for one of Marvel's upcoming movies as well. We also did costumes for Night at the Museum and several other features, so we got some really high quality talent working with us on the Lost Ones.
Great. Now, you started on the Sonic books back in, say, around issue 11, correct?
I started submitting stories back in October of 1993, and the first of which saw print in issue 11, correct?
Yeah, when it first came on, it was when Mike Gallagher was writing it, and it was a little sillier back then, full of cheesy puns, and I guess they wanted it more like the Saddam cartoon.
Well, actually, no. What really happened was Paul Castiglia editor Paul Castiglia had contacted Mike Kantarovich because he and Mike had been hanging around various comic conventions together where they knew each other from. And Mike didn't even have a clue what Sonic was, but he knew I did, so he came over and we started batting around some ideas. And we submitted them, and we were told to orient our stories into 11, 6, or 5-page format, along the lines of what Mike Gallagher was doing. And it wasn't until editor Scott Fulham came on board that I made the suggestion to him, having discovered the Saturday morning cartoons, that we should make the comic more adventure-oriented, more in tune with the Saturday morning series than the weekday series. And he was very agreeable with that.
Was it very hard getting around a lot of the Sega mandates? Like, I imagine they wanted certain ways for their characters to act or behave.
I was never really given that much direction with regards to any of the characters. The only thing that we were told with Sonic is Sonic had to be cool, dap, he had to be fast, just like he had to have attitude, okay? That was probably the only direction we got with Sega. For example, when Mike and I submitted our initial story ideas, we submitted like 4 story synopses, and only one was rejected. And the one that was rejected was because we did a Sonic versus the Mario Brothers type of scenario. And instead of plumbers, they were dentists. And Sega said, nah, let's not go there. But beyond that, they never really told me what stories to do or how to treat the characters.
One of the ones that surprised me was Knuckles. I mean, his official game canon is he was the last of his kind, and he was, alone on Angel Island. And when he came along, he introduced eventually a whole hidden city, tons of echidnas, all the other Guardians. Sega didn't have any problems on that one?
Well, you see, the thing was with Knuckles, the history with the Knuckles in the comic books was this. Mike and I were directed to do an adaptation of the Sonic and Knuckles game for a story introducing Knuckles, which saw print in Sonic 13. Actually, it nearly didn't see print because just as we were going to press with that issue, Sega started having second thoughts because they really weren't to do with the character. And it was only because we were right there on the presses and said, look, we're going to miss an issue if you don't go along with this. They backed off, let us go to press with it, and then they wanted to sit and think what they wanted to do with Knuckles. And because originally the first miniseries that Mike and I were supposed to work on was a Knuckles miniseries, but they decided they wanted to go with Princess Sally. So shortly after we did the Princess Sally miniseries, editor Scott Fold called me up and he said, start coming up with some ideas what to do with Knuckles as a series. You know, Sega has no idea what they want to do with the character. Let's see what we can do with this. So I started developing several concepts, what to do with the series. The problem with the games were, is there was not enough material whatsoever to base a series on. And I decided that I wanted to set up a scenario where we get to explore the character and his environment and his history. How did this character come to be? To be the last of his kind. And in setting up the elements to explain how he was supposedly the last of his kind, it turned out he really wasn't. And they pretty much let me run with it, as they saw the story starting to progress and develop. Nobody told me what to do whatsoever with Knuckles. That was purely my concoction, and it worked. People seemed to gravitate to it, and it became a strong seller for Archie.
All right. Who is your favorite character out of the Sonic series?
That's like asking a parent, who's his favorite child, there are so many. I mean, I love Jeffrey St. John, I love Julie Sue, I love Locke. I would have to say those are my three favorites, but I could easily just as much gravitate toward Archimedes or Lara Sue or Dimitri or Leanda or Craig Ocker.